So before ngene ekuthwaseni, a while before ngene ngithwasa ngivuma nobizo lami nomntana kamalume kamamami. Her name was Uselina, and my grandmother's sister, meaning umntana kankomo, Uselina, she was I think not feeling so well, and there was also a diagnosis, or rather she tested HIV for she tested positive for HIV. So indlela yokuthi aze afike ephehlweni, I do not necessarily know the details around, but my grandmother's sister, she took her to a friend, loyo muntu loyo, and she was not living far from my grandmother's house, and Uselina watiwa uya twasu. So at the time when I heard that, I was a bit relieved. I thought to myself, then it means that anginalo idlozi and I don't have to undergo any form of initiation. So what happened was that Uselina ephehlweni, she was being highly mistreated. She was also on treatment, and inyawo zakhe behlezi zivuvukile, and she was always being told ukuthi agite. Every time that her feet, she was always being told ukuthi agite. So we know that there's also the downside to also taking antiretroviral, ARVs, because sometimes you tend to hallucinate, you tend to see things, and if again, or rather, your family is misguided, you get to take into a person, and the Ezingizangoma will just say lo muntu lo unamadlozi. So I think with Uselina, she had a spiritual gift, yes, but begangangenanga idlozi la kankomo, because uthwase washonela ekuthwaseni, washonela ephehlweni. How my mother reiterated the story to me was that no ngoba bebaye kuyombona emoshari, wayelele efaka idumane ekhanda, ajulukile kungathi uzovuka. My mom was very saddened by that whole experience, because the whole family was putting pressure ukuthi mela hamba yothwasa. And I think also sometimes that thing iba inkinga when we put pressure. If ukuthi kunomuntu osekhaya oyohamba yothwasa, let us really get to the bottom of it. Umuntu makahambe makuhlolwe noma kulandele umlando wasekhaya, so that you avoid leyo nto leyo ukuthi umuntu kuthiwe unamadlozi kanti sometimes uyayigulela nje kuphela, because thina abantu abamnyama sifuna ukugula. We don't want to attend to medical practitioner, we don't want to seek medical facilities or medical attention, because everything related to it, if asubloyi, then amadlozi. So that was a very painful situation that happened to Uselina, and it was not something that should have happened to her actually, because cutting figure before ngihamba, my mom told me ukuthi ngake ngavuka idlozi, and unkomo reiterated that should there be anyone ozohamba ayothwasa le dlozi njengoba babanga idlozi kuyena, bazohamba bashone, because isikhwama akusisona esabo. When my mom was pregnant with me, ugogo idlozi lami waza kumama wafika wambamba isisu wathi kenna and my mom didn't know what she meant. And weeks later she passed on, and weeks later after her death, then ngavela mina in August. Yena, she was born on the 5th of August, and mina I'm the 9th of August. So I would say, in terms of the ukhethiwa komuntu ngokedlozi, it is not something that is cooked up by amadlozi. It is always written in the stars. It is your destiny, it is your gift. So sad enough, ngathi ngisathwasa ngise-Snake Park, I remember this other day ngangihleli ilanga lakhona sasiborekile emini, ngafikela nje isithongwane and ngahlala phansi ngigcine ngithi ngibhema isinefu, and I remember bengihleli nje ngicross inyawo zami, and I saw the door open to kulo mkhukhu besihlala kuwo, and umuntu wesifazane to what seemed like was Selena. She came in, afaka idumane, afaka ubuhlalo ne-red skirt. She didn't say anything. She came in and sat right next to me. Wagoba ikhanda wayenza kanje. And I remember bengangadozanga of ukuthi I was gone. When I opened my eyes, I could feel that there was such a distinct presence. So to a certain extent, asiyekeni ukuntshontshelana amadlozi noma ukuphisana ngamadlozi. Idlozi layikhethela. Selena was a companion or strength for me, mangthwasa. That is what I got from that day. She was with me because ebunzimeni ngangikhona, I would always feel a certain level of presence besides idlozi lami. But I had to endure, whatever pains that she went through so that I could begin my journey, because remember, we walk in our ancestors' footprints or rather footsteps, and indlela zethu asifani. So she knows I really appreciate her energy. I might not tell her all the time, and whenever umkhulu wami, my mom's uncle, whenever she sees me, he got that validation when Mangbuya from Unkomo that Selena has now rested, that finally it was just a beautiful thing. But life is spiritual, people. Life is spiritual. I am Pobadine with the advocate of Idlozi, and once again I welcome you to my channel, and thank you so much for choosing to view this video once again. If you're a returning subscriber, I welcome you back to the channel. Welcome back to this beautiful spiritual family that is growing each and every day. We are currently sitting on 18,222 and counting subscribers. So if you still haven't subscribed to the channel, where in the Dlozi have you been? We are sliding on chapter 8, so do so just after watching this video, and like this video and leave your comments down below. Don't forget to watch the ads and Azishe. So welcome to part 8. God's time flies when we are indeed having fun. But this is the type of fun that we learn from. This is the type of fun that we do the right things. So a lot of things happened April 20, and I will get into most of that. And but you would think it would be fun times where else sidla anything that we wanted on Sundays, because angisho as kupuling on my Sundays. So basically we would know ukuthi Monday ekseni silindwe ukuphalaza nge-20 liter. So ngangakwazi mina ukuphalaza, ngangiphalaza ngimile ngidangalazile. And shout outs to Umsezana. She really helped me, she's now Gogo Mashoba, but she was called Umsezana laphayana. She really helped me in light of ukwazi ukwenza the basic things, because no ngoba sesiqala senza amagobongo, she also helped me. Ngangibona kuye ngangakwazi ukushaya vele igobongo, but she held my hand. She showed me ukuthi ngishaye kanje, although it gave me, I got muscles, doom doom doom. But you do that. Igobongo or noma ibhudlu, because we call it different many names, but that's the languages we use la ngangihlala khona. And ngafunda lapho ukuphalaza, ngafunda lapho ukufutha. There was nothing I hated like ukufutha, because masifutha besifutha sonke, besivala sihlale sibe ngcono, sihlale ezitulweni lapho esontweni kube kwelinye ibhodo, so lifakiwe amakhana nokush karara rekerzo koroba barara rabakira bako, and we would sit there around lelo bhakede lelo bhodo lelo libe livutha. And I hated worse isfutho samaj. Khona lese samaj that they would like the store. I hated that one because it was bad. But so we would sit in a round, sibe ngunu. And I remember the first time this happening, kwathiwa siyafutha namhlanje, it was around 10, and sambozwa ngecansi, sambozwa ngengubo, sambozwa ngamacansi nezinye ingubo, bese kwabekwa iplastic phezulu. Awema, the snob in me came out. I can't breathe. Umsezane noLoretta abahleli lapha, they're like, I was like, how are these ladies doing it? But Ketokobela wami is there. He's like, no, get inside. So I even developed a breathing technique. So the thing with Ukfuta, you need to calm your energies down and breathe in through your nostrils and out your mouth, or sometimes in your mouth and out your nostrils, and program. So mangisafika ngangakwazi ukukhuluma, but mase kuhamba isikhathi ngangisengiyi-legend esifuthweni ngibabise ewena dramas, ewena shit, ewena rubbish, I developed, ngase ngikhula ngihamba along the way nokuphalaza, because ekuphalazeni sasesirobha vele kwezinye iy'khathi, because ungaphalaza nge-2021, but sometimes we would be under supervision. But when we were not under supervision, ngangithi kayi-2 bese ngithi angisho phela mele uzigcobise lana, angazi nakuphi kuphi, sengikhohle guys, it's ages ago. And then uhambe-ke uyobonisa ugobele ukuthi uqedile uphalazile. So that was the vibe. So Umsezana really played a very big role in terms of my stay at Pehlweni. Loretta, we were clicking, but we were not that close because she was of an older age. But Umsezana, she was older as well, but I felt a big sister in her. We had that love and hate relationship, because the only thing I hated about her was clumsiness. Bega clumsy. Apema isnave. Asfagelana, emlomeni, asfagenalana. Imagine the high she would get gushisa during the day, and lesos kati gutu afuze pegwe. So the cooking duties were delegated to me, because being pega kamnandi, even though besidla ukudla okungekho, but ngangizama, because ezizandla zibusisekile bathanda, these hands can turn a mess into a message, can turn a dry food into a foodily. So I would cook, and and I'm one person, I'm very picky, especially ekuphekelweni abantu. So they would enjoy, especially my Sundays, it would be like that. But now ngibona tensions between me and my Gobela's girlfriend at the time. So she was giving me the side eye. I don't know why, because she felt so good, I was comfortable in the family or something along those lines. Because I remember there was a time I'm that girl. So I am that girl. So ngangithanda ukuthi isikhoko ngelinye ilanga umama kaGobela wami, she's like, Gumbo, and I'm like, and she's like, yes, good the way with this coco ngakhona anyeke usahamba la. Phela isikhoko sasemzini asiliwa. Mawuthi isikhoko sakhaba umfana kusho ukuthi awusafuna ukuhamba lapho. And in my mind I'm like, woman, what are you talking about? Because lana kusekhaya. This is my spiritual home. But anyway, so siqhube sihlale lapho, but kwakungasekho ngendlela ekuba right, because into engibhorayo ngokuba yithwasa is that every time akufika izangoma, you had ukuthi, being shown off or being, advertised as though you were a piece of meat. I remember sihambile nogobela wethu siye emgidini, and I think that was the first red flag that I had. Ngazitshela ngathi I no longer want anything engihlanganisa nezangoma, because plainly, yeah. So sase yama legend, ngase ngikwazi ukugida, I was, and masifika emgidini ezithwasa itende nihlala le ngathi niyizinja, where else abogobela bayavela, the only thing Tina we do, it's like abogobela Tina, we are amathwasa wakagobela, you become like the groupies. Makaqala anything, you the one that stands up. Makaqala anything, you the one enyomgqokisa and all of that. But I was thinking to myself, dude, if this was another life and I was Sister Dimpo, honestly, I would pass you. So, well, kuyiwe lapha emgidini kugcwele izangoma, kuyajorana, kuyaphuza, kuya yonke into, obviously inkundla ivulwa ngamathwasa. So there was a video of mine that was taken by a partner of my Gobela at the time, obe isangoma na. I don't know what happened to that video. I wish I retrieve it, because ngangita lapho I took out my all, I was fully etlozini. I was just chilling, doing the things that needed to be done. So ugobela agide, how jukujuku maseko sebusuku, mina vele understand honestly vele ngaqala ngabona lapho ukuthi kahle kahle kukhona i-fake, kukhona i-scam, kukhona zonke izinto. Amanye abantu mabagida bayathweka. Into ngayibona lapha mina abantu athwekela owabo wezangoma abathwekela bayenza kanje, bayenza namabele so. I'm thinking, lamadlozi lawo why anobu fabric like why ain't so lamadlozi lawo abanye bagida ngeinyoka, abanye bagida neyikulupati namalokwaja. Honestly, I have no drama as to abantu abanalezo zinto lezo. Good for you. Mina I will never keep a living pet because la ngihlala khona sasihlala ne-school party. School party kama lasuka kuukemi or ukemi, but coming back ngizobuya kuleyo ndaba leyo. Hebana bagide abanye uyabona ukuthi seku-alcohol la umuntu gide angimkhohle munye baba wangena esitikini amdala lo baba lo azange agide wathi yazini ngiyabona niyagida kodwa ngihalela ukwazi ukuthi ey'ndumbeni zenu kwenzakalani because ngibona ngathi nibeka imigidi nokugida phambili so I took that, I left with that because it made me see ukuthi yazini kunezinye izinto esizibeke phambili as in ukuthi we are showing off or anything, but truth comes to the pudding. Unedlozi na or ufundisi ukuba isangoma, but it happens. That's the reality. So so when I started seeing good something is wrong, there were these other sangoma abugobela nabo in their lives because gwatiwa you must stick to your tribe because amathwasa ayontshontshiwa because as isihleli lapha singamathwasa sasihleli nabanye. I remember khona manje bebengcolile. I thought singcolile thina laba sesihleli nabo umuntu agcoka into ezimnyama ne-red skirt. I-red skirt angiyifone, anginaso ne-skirt esi-red, anginaso. So babehleli laphayana bona besebekhalela inkani and they were asking siyaxoxa inini and Ugobela wabo is checking me out. You understand? There in my ambashiness I was being checked out. So Maslogos Pitizela, trying to go to the toilet, he comes and tries to ask me out. Yazango mashelana. Bathanda ukuzenza ngasamandla labo abuye Dubai. Sokozani makhosi. And I'm like angimnaki thokozani because that's how you taught, thokozani waze wamuhle yo ubuye empandeni kabani. I'm like thokozani ngibuye empandleni ingane yolwandle. You understand? Kanti ugayi ubhekile hey wathi yayicela ukuthi umyeke loyo wami lo cela ukuthi umyeke ngazolinge lo muntu lona uyambona ukuthi umlungu lona uyamodela lo muntu lona kusho wami Ugobela uyamodela lo muntu la ukwazi ngeke wami lo muntu lo hawu. Okay, ngitshela ukuthi mhlambe uyangilwela ukuthi ngingatshontshwa because that's what I was told. But anyway, we kept it moving. Sihambe sibuye emgidini, but now izinto bese ngibona ukuthi like siziyatshintsha manje. Ugobela wami sekafuna ukuthi mina ngihlale ngimthelela amanzi okugeza, bekangasathelelwa amanye amathasi, bekathelelwa yimi. Ukudla ahanjiselwa yimi, angafuni ukuhanjiselwa umunye umuntu. Mangipheke kabi, thola ukuthi ngiphethe amamutsi wami, ungikwatisile or ngikwatile nje. Aze kimi hawu ngiyabona namhlanje bongafuna ukupheka. You understand? Ngelinye ilanga umamami nobhuti wami bebazile because ethwaseni ama-visit wami bekumamami nobhuti wami shem yazini ngiyanthanda ninoyithi shem bayazi bekuyibo kuphela emndenini wami out of everyone, my mom and my brother yibo bebasuke eDavidson baye Snake Park babuye sometimes bangaphethanga next. So Ugobela bekeloko benikeza izinto mhlambe bathe bafuna ukuchisa la ejardini but ngizibuze mina ngithi Mbuzo umsezane ngithi umamami ucomplaina ngale nkinga le nathi nina nize ekhaya ngizobethela kanti what happened umsezana lo kashalaza ngangiphendula ngathi wena ngizokuthola wena njengoba ungafuna ukukhuluma kanje uzozukhuluma. So ngelinye ilanga athi kimi Ugobela ungafila kanjani uthi ngelinye ilanga uya abantu bakini umama wakhe akutshela ukuthi uphuphe bathi mina nawo ufuze sishade or amadlozi wethu athafuna sishade or noma uphuphe lokho. And ngithi kuye I just brushed it off. Ngithi hayi thokoza baba angazi yabo baba mina yabo ngithi hayi nginomuntu athi hayi sonke impilo leyo siyahetheka sethekile but umuntu kuyadingeka nje ukuthi uyangiunderstand. But ngibone ukuthi the conversation yabo ngifike ngicocele le one le umsezane because umuntu ngangihlale ngispend isikhathi naye ngimcocele. Athi kimi yazini makaqala kubiza lo muntu lo yenza sure ukuthi ngihlezi ngikhona because I will not allow you to go there ngingekho mina. ekseni yimi ngihambisa itiya lakhe, yimi ngihambisa umdogo, ilunch yimi, udla kwasebusuku yimi, you understand? But I could just tell. The only time bekangiphatha gabi angirafula was when my boyfriend called. Boyfriend Bay Loyana ngingamshiya. Magafona like bekakwata because mama wamnikeza amafoni number wakhe, so bekakwata ekugcineni wazi ngicela utshelele umuntu wakho ukuthi angasafoni usekuthwaseni and uyakuphazamisa yabo, but ngizitshela ukuthi you know what, anyway whatever. And noma ngisekuthwaseni ngiphupha ke boyfriend Bay avalele lapha eflatini ayenzana, angisho umuntu wakho uyamazi, but abogogo mase bakubonisa ngama level. Ngiboleka ifoni yakangankwabi ngithi ngicela ukubhaza umuntu so XYZ, ngimfonele ngimtshele so uphuphe, hey ngizongihlanyela mina, ngazo practice lamadlozi akho la kimphuphe ifoni kanti haba sengishaye nge-first man sebanginokile ngoba ngihambile ngayothwasa. So the truth of the matter is shem bayabalwa abalontoza amadoda akhonayo ukubekezelela ukuzana nomuntu edlozi. The 80% of them shem it's just a foul play. So I continued my stay, but I could see the treatment, until manje sengiyaphupha. Mangimphupha this day ngimpupa, he's naked, he's coming straight to me. You understand? My phone is blurring. Okay, he's naked and he's coming straight to me, and just when I'm about to ask him, so like he's telling me to look at him, and ngimbheke yabo, mangimbheke ngiphaphama mangithi yabo, hey man, what's happening? You understand? But you could feel my footsteps ngaphandle, because the thing is that when we would go siyendumbeni, uyokhanyisa ngabo 2-3, I remember ngelinye ilanga ngangile and laba bebaloku babhizi batlanasa, but sengibona isikhathi ukuthi like kuzoze kuze and kule and la sizoshawa because XYZ, you understand? Masivule endumeni ithunzi bathandekayo, angisho yabona i-reflection ye-street lights, but ithunzi la phakathi endumeni shu awema ngigijime ngishaya 150 ngidonsa umsezana ngithi endumeni sona sisa lo athi ke meyintana ekhehla yekela into zabantu wena yenza le omela uyenze uqeda uhamba uyekini. Mina endumeni yami angifuni labo nopopi laba abathe laba banamabele abayenza, angiyifundi lezo zinto lezo because ngabona imihlolo ngazo lezi zinto lezo la ngangithwasa khona mina. So please, induba yami ngamanye yabafensi yahlala amawine yahlala ini, angifuni nopopi ohlala bhekile. Mina ngithe angikhumuli futhi nezo zami ngifuna nopopi onamabele awama virgin or umkhulu omilo phethe indubo, angizifuni lezo zinto lezo. I know what represents my ancestors and we all have our reasons for why sinemsamo yethu. If unalezo zinto lezo, good for you, but mina I'm just telling you my situation ukuthi angifuni lezo zinto lezo because ngiyazi emva kwazo kuhamba angithi. So but I'm not saying bonke abanazo, mina experience yami yazo noma ngiyibone Faraday or kuphi ngiyayindlula. Yes, it's arts, whatever, it's the creative things, but my experience with those things azange kwaba right. Sengiyabona ukuthi manje yabona like Justin izinto sezihamba ngenye indlela, sezihamba ngomunye tune. So ngelinye ilanga ngithi bengihambisa lunch emini. Mangena ngimthola uhleli phezulu kombhede and he's like, hayi ngene mfana umnyango, hayi ngivale ngihlale phansi, hayi ngifuna ukukhuluma nawe nje inkomo, hayi khuleka, hayi nami ngihlale yabo, hayi ngibheke phansi cause vele umfundiso. But namanje I still don't look at people in the eye, as I think it because of the gift I am or whatever the case might be, but I believe eyes are the windows to the soul. So I don't want to walk around reading people. I only make eye contact but with my mom, but with a majority of people around me, they will tell you because I don't make eye contact. I barely. But if I do, that's me. So I'm sure athangitshele ngalo muntu wakho, ngimtshele history yakhe ukuthi umuntu akanje isibongo sakhe. Siyaxoxa ngisho ngifila ukuthi no, my parent uyangibuza interested. Athi kimi awukhumbuli mara ukulala embedeni, you understand? Ngithi hayi ngiyakhumbula yabo, but ngithi hayi mara sizoyenzani baba cause ngavuma yabo ukuthi ngifuna ukuthwasa sengizolala embhedeni ekhaya. Athi hayi ngibheke awukhumbuli ukulala embhedeni. Mangithi umuntu akacokanga in his birthday suit. Hayi sengiyabona kuba tense kuba awkward. Angisazi manje ukuthi ngihlanganise ini nani, understand? And ngiyabona namehlo lawo sengibheke ngawo akusisa amehlo ukuthi mntwanami sokwamehlo ukuthi nanami, understand? Hey, you know what? Ngizitshele ngithi man, this can't be happening. You know, yena ugobela wami, he was a good looking person. He was a good looking person, but angambheki ngalawo mehlo mina. Ngangijayele irafyondami laselokhu. Ngangambheki ngalawo mehlo because I took him as my spiritual parent. Kanti umsezana uyabona iscenario because uyabona ukuthi dala ngihambile. Angimemeza nkomo. Thuka nale one. Go wena bethasa limemeza. Hayi thokoza baba. Umama uthi ibhodo lepapa unkomo lelashile. Liyaqhapha. Ngisave umsezana. Mangiphuma ngaphandle angidonsa athi ngithe ungasayingeni lapha ngekho ngithi bengihambisa ukudla athi sizokhuluma later. Hayi for sure ngihambe siye siyoyenza lezi zinto lezo besizenza for that day ilanga lichubeke. How ngelinye nanga he sisibizo endumbeni sihleli naye igobela athi no ngifuna ukunibonisa something ngombona uDikoloshi na ngathi mina no I understand, but the only time I had like izinto zokubona abathakathi nezinto njalo was when I was still growing up, and nalesikhathi ngangishaya amabhudlu ngisekuthwaseni because when I was ngishaya ibhudlu I would see lapha ebhudlini izinto zazenzakala around my area ekhaya, especially ukuthi ngabona abogogo abahleli, but bekungasabogogo as in amadlozi, but abantu abathakathayo bahleli outside igceke lasekhaya, but bahleli social distance vibe ba apart, but bahleli babheka direction yasekhaya kuba ingathi they can't come in, they wanna come in, but those are the type of things. So I'm like, no, I've never experienced such. And it's like ngiyafuna ukumbona, but when I was looking at him kube nento ethi mbheke. His voice was so deep, and all of a sudden the atmosphere endumini yachinja kwavele kwabanda kwavele kwaba awkward kwaba tense, like ithenjini yakho nabonga yekhatha ngishoba, you know. Mangimbheka his eyes are changed, like akasesona umuntu lo engimaziyo. Mangibheka lo yagogo lo ya bebambiza ukuthi unkomo yahlaba because naye bathi bheka nedluzi elunkomo yahlaba. Izinto endumeni kube ngathi uyabona mawungathi like ubhema insangu. I was seeing things like this, but athi uyafuna ukumbona, ngithi hayi ngifuna ukumbona yabo. Nalaba abanye hayi baba sifuna ukumbona kusebusuku sifuna ukuyolala baba, athi ngizonibonisa. Kube ngathi yabona uyasituza ngizonibonisa. Lalela nzithandwa lo gogo lo ongaqhukanga ngomabele umvirgin angisho umile uthibhekele namabele athe ngabona mina inhloko ithi ngiyangibona ukuthi ngenzani. Ngathuka ngabheka phansi ngavala amehlo ngathandaza there mangithandaza ngathi in the name of Jesus but masihamba siyolala ngangisengicocela umsezana was like yey suke indabeni zabantu yeka into ezingakufuni hatho sengihleli lapha ngiyazibuza kanti ngikuphi na ngathi ngiphakathi in the mlomo of Dingweng, you know how. All right, sihlale lapho kuhamba amalanga, you know, the treatment is escalating. Indumba yakho bela mina yayiphila amagundwane ke. I remember mawuklina endumbeni as ithwasa awuklina ume ngenyawo, so uklina uguqe ngamadolo, so it was uncomfortable makuyi-10 yami uklina. But there was a day okay, sorry, I just saw a mosquito. There was a day wathi sikline, since it's like spring cleaning, amakaka amakhundweni waphuma lapha sayenza saklina, mina ngabe ngiwasha amabhayi. It was just chaotic, but kwakungcolile, you know. I hope seka-upgradeile, because if he hasn't, you know yourself. So amalanga ayahamba yabona izinto ziyachubeka. The part I loathed about ukuhlala laphayana was the part yokugida, because nalabantu basesishayelwa nabo. Ukugida was now becoming a show off. We were being paraded. Makufika izangoma, kufika ubani bani mele sigide, kufika uzibani bani mele sigide, kufika uzibani bani mele sikhuphule. Mina vele bese ngidineka vele, and bese ngasa enjoy, because you would see people looking under your skirt, and it wouldn't be comfortable. So asifundise mase sizofundisa bakuthiwa ukuhlehla umndawo ukida kanje. Angithi angazi mhlawumbe ngibandezona mathosana ukida kanje. Those weeks were brutal because we had to get it right. So wawuhlala ecansini ulule inyawo zakho bese ugide kanje, bowuqala uguqile bese uyahlala, but you don't stand up. Uguqa with your upper body, you understand? And uma vele idlozi seli understand, seli take it over, you just lose yourself. But sasithelwa ngamanzi to get things right. Kwakubekwa ibhakede nesigenama and sasigidela vele ebaleni elodaka. Uthelwe ngamanzi. So that's how we would master that. But it was painful because nongoba masowukhuphula angazi bekafuna sikhuphule sifike kuphi, but bosowukhuphula kabuhlungu, you could just feel ukuthi like manje masikhuphula sesikhupha ama voice la wogcina yabo. It is painful because singaphuthelwa ngamanzi abandayo ngapha kuyabanda, and bese vele sesingasagezeli inside. I remember there was a day ngangithi ngaphandle ngiyageza, sasigezela ngaphandle like ebaleni sigeza ngamanzi abandayo. Sunlight bar is the best. I still use it sometimes every now and then because yangibonisana ukuthi ngiyakhuqulula mina, whether ngiyabanda or ngiyashisa, but ngiyakhuqulula. Sikubanda lelo langa lelo, because my mom would tell me that every time makuba u3 beka phaphama yena, So I remember I always speak to the stars. I always, I'm that girl. So there's this day, ngavuka ngabheka phezulu siyageza, makundwana biza igijima la phambi kwethu. You understand? And ngabamba ivaslab ice ngakhala. I think that's when it was sinking in manje ukuthi this is the reality, ukuthi ukuphi. You understand? Mangithi vaslab iyabanda iqinile, ice ngayiqhobisa sunlight ngageza. Oh mashoba umsezana lesikhathi uyocila athi ukuthi asakunzima begezela. Leso sikhathi I am crying, ngiyakhala ingembezi, ngiyageza. Nokugeza kwakhona uyisi nje ivaslab just so that unganuki during the day. But kwasekunzima, I don't want to lie to you guys. Ukuhamba egcekeni ngamadolo, being made to stand hours ngamadolo in the sun while ama izangoma are there to visit ugobela wako just because they can. There would be instances hambe nogobela going for shopping. I remember khona indaba sayakhona kwa Moses. We kneeled in the parking while he was shopping and eating. While we were there in the parking lot as it was, and every time I ngibona that butchery place, I don't like it, And it was humiliating. You would get humiliated for not feeling isangoma being passed. I understood the brutality because he was heightening up our senses, but it was painful. Ngiyawacakela mina amathwaso namhlanje that are able to snap while emaphehlweni are able to do these things. Amanye amathwaso you walk past them umuntu akudlule as though qeda ngidlule slay queen, and I laugh because thina sasishaywa bongasindluli sangoma wawusifila umuntu ozayo wawumfila uhla hey abosiyezwa labo shaya siyeza shaya siyezwa bebe sebenza because wawubhula umuntu ozayo engekafiki. You were told to feel, sense a person ukuthi lo muntu ozayo njani. Yoy, I don't want to lie, ngafunda kodwa kwakunzima. That's why ngithi the modernization of intwaso, or rather uktwasa, has just lost its meaning. Angali ukuthi kunzima, yes, or they shouldn't be abused, but ingulo yakho makube imfihlo. Like I said, I only have one picture of myself in Tasa. Nakona, I didn't take that picture of myself. You understand that? But you see people engulweni yabo, they are broadcasting ingulo yako. If we understood ukuthi ingulo yako usukuyo welusa madlozi, wearing that red skirt, what does that symbolize? Ulinda ukufa. You don't broadcast your death like that. You don't broadcast ubunzima bakho like that. You don't know who's watching. Bese maseniphume emaphehleni nithi nivaliwe, nivalwa abogobela beni. You don't do that. Mina ngangigula, ngangilinda ukuyofa. Ukuyoshiwa udimpo was painful. It didn't come easy. There was this day we were ordered not to eat, that day. Watiwa kunomuthi ubaba is supposed to, but mosquitoes are having a vibe today with me. We ordered not to eat that day, that morning. Ngabo 12 sabizwa endumbeni. Masibizwa endumbeni, siyabekwa phansi, thiwa sibheme, sanikwa izinto sabhema. Kwathiwa sibheke phezulu. Uke wathelwa iliquid. Omunye umuthi nje wathelwa la emakhaleni, wathiwa nje sibheke phezulu, because most of the people you don't get time to ask what's happening to you. Ngagcaba la ebusweni, ngagcaba la, ngagcaba mostly of my parts, but my face nganginemigcabo la. Ngagcaba ekhanda, ngagcaba emva endlebeni, kwathiwa ngagcaba emehlweni lana, yes, ngagcaba nalapha phambi kweindlebe. Akukhona ngagcaba ngakhona, ngifaka umuthi. But manje sifuna ukuyobona ukuthi for ngempela. We singene lapha yasi strong, but masesiya saphuza something else. Angazi bathi ubuchopho bani loba asifake bona. Excuse me guys, I'm a mosquito. Angazi bathi ubuchopho bani loba asifake bona. Sahamba sangena elontozeni kulomkhukhu wethu. Sakhiyelwa. Masikhiyelwa kwavalwa outside ngamalabha mnyama, inside kwavalwa ukuthi kube like dark, but we could see each other. Umsezane, she passed out. I passed out for a moment, and we started now hearing things. We started seeing things. Sis ekuthangathi ziyilwane. Umsezane khala njengomntwana omncane. Mina, I was barking, trying to speak to her, but the only thing that was coming out of my mouth was woof, 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 like a dog. You know how a dog barks? I was behaving like a dog. You know when you're watching yourself, but you don't have control over what's happening. Ngangibela lo yamkhukhu ngathi ngiyahlanya. Uloretha phenduke, sasiphenduke amahlanya. When uthi uyabheka basilunguzile lapha yana embobeni, ulokathi bayekeni lapho ngaphakathi. Siphenduka amahlanya. Khuluma izinto esingazazi, khuluma izinto ongazizwa. And we didn't know what was happening. Angisazi how long that carried on for, because ngaphaphama sileli phansi. I was half naked. Msezana was naked. And he was there. He came to me wangiphuzisa amanzi and left. Sakhiyelwa futhi inside. The only thing I remember, mangivuka, I was bleeding, ngangimongoza very badly. And I think that was the last time ngibhema isnave, because of what that thing happened. Putting something that's liquidiform and powderish at first in your nostrils, ubheke phezulu. Obviously, it's not a good feeling, you understand? Mas papa, he's telling us that no, senkhulile bantwana bam. He didn't explain much, but that's what he told us. The only person umama gagobela would try to ask her to suss her out, tolumgosi, hey, what was happening? And she's like, no, I'm not supposed to tell you what's happening. Ubabe nungipe straight orders not to tell you what's happening. And after Lapo, life was just never the same. The ill treatment carried on. it was bad. It's just that my mind is blurring out some situations, but I'm trying to remember. Ngafika to a point whereby I was not getting fed up of the feelings there. And during my stay, amaphupho wami between me and Idlozi were no longer that tight, because Idlozi came, delivered messages that I needed to deliver to Ugobelon, but was not helping because he was not listening. So eventually Idlozi lamlathula. Uloretta ngangithwasa naye, she eventually left because wayehlola while ahleli nathi ephehlweni. So in terms of amathwasa, I would get amathwasa that come to me and want to consult. I would do that at first, but ngake ngaxashana nabogobela abathizeni, you know, because of that, bathi mina blah blah blah. But ngangibatshela amaqiniso mandlela ngabe yabantwana what must happen. So Loretta naye, she was told something similar and she left. Wahamba kwasala mina nomsezana, the workload doubled. Baba walapho beseka, you know, besekune bond, you know, angafuni ukuthi ngihambe vele asho ukuthi yimi ngipheka mnandi mhlazana ngihambe, he's gonna miss my cooking, you understand? And life went on, impilo went on. Now we gravitated geza, you know, emanzini. We would be sent sihambe siyokha amanzi, knowing very well ukuthi la we are being sent kunomnikazi wamanzi, and bathi amathwasa wabuyi lapho. But I thank Uselina, I thank my ancestors, because we would go there siphume sibuye. Sometimes sasimbona hleli in the middle of amanzi edwaleni eyozenza ujamani oloku asibhekile nje the singene siphume into esoyigijima lapho sibaleke, because ngangishela ukuthi if I don't make it out of here ekhaya kuzothiwani, you understand? But the treatment beseyibhlungu lapho, and life was never the same, to a certain extent whereby now I was feeling annoyed. I was like, no, I'm gonna test my power. This other day was someone got to know fuze skite in, and that day I was like, if ngempela gogo nkomo ukhona, please zama ukuthi namhlanje angisafuna ukugida. Actually angisazifuni la kuhambe ukugida sibophila amabha wethu, because sibopha amabha ngisho uma uyogida likubambe blah blah blah. Sithe masingene enkundleni bathi sebazoshayela ngala khona, vele ngangihappy, ngena vele ngithi yo mara ngekho edlozini yo singene bathi mabashaya isigubhu buru boing zabhoboka zonke zoyi4. Ngajabula ngathi oh kanti ukhona nkomzini. Then this other day sasika, cause imithi sasigayela elangeni, bebas-abuse shem, sigayela elangeni sigigela imithi elangeni. Ngabheka phezulu ngathi mina ngikhathele ukugayana nale mithi, ngicela ukuthi izulu linethe like manje, cause ngikhathele. Ngabona ama ashintsha aphenduka a form of a snake. I don't know what happened that day. Mangibheka phezulu ngezwa du ayibo. So life went on laphayana, but ngangisengasehlelanga kahle, you know. One thing I forgot to talk about is indaba yokubhula and all of that, you know. We were taught in every way to ukubhula, ukluza amathambo, we were taught every, but mina it didn't work for me. Why wawubekiwe amathambo kwathiwa practice and amathwasa wabhula, and Loretta was still there, but we practiced, you know. But mina wangangisebenzeli, ngangithi ngibhula ngizwe ikhehla lami likhuluma la. Ithambo leso sikhathi lithi lona kuyafika ikhehla lami athi amasimba lawo akunakufiwa next, you understand? Safundiswa no-on and off, you also using the Bible, that didn't work for me. Using water, that didn't work for me. Like nganginje ngiyiphara, but nabo bebangangi-understand ukuthi nginhloboni, until ngelinye ilanga ngaphupha loya nkosikazi weza kimi ngisemncane wangipha ama-coin. She came to me and she gave me balls, but makafika kimi ufaka izinto zezangoma. So in the dream I'm like, oh white, you white, but you're wearing, okay, what's going on? And she came to me, she's like, I am with you. And wafika kimi maseka thuyaguqa, so mangaguqa avula izandla sekaphenduke umfana nje omncane ogaca ubuhlalo ofaka i-red skirt ofaka idumane lana ezandleni. There were all these crystal balls. You know, I see these crystals that we have. We're saying crystal healing energies. They look like that, but leza zazikhanyisa ngaphakathi kwamabhola, all in different colors. And she gave me that, and wanginikeza, ngakuthatha, ngaqhubeka ngempilo. Azange ngimtshela ugobela wami. You amathambo wami lawo. So life went on until the abuse was getting out of hand to a certain extent. Oguti were now, my aunt was like, no, iti basing ngimtshela umama ukuthi, you know, the treatment is just getting bad. Begingasekho right. Because if your own gobela can come and tell you ukuthi wena mawulele ulele kanjani, athi mina mangilele I sleep so peacefully. Vele ngangilala phambi komnyango la ngasembubeni. So it means that masilele ebusuku, because those footsteps, it would mean ukuthi wuye. He would come askobe la embubeni angitshela ukuthi ngilala so peacefully, you know, I don't even snore, I don't even do anything. I would be like, my guy, why are you saying? But I would not sell it to him. But and that's when she would tell me the stories that were happening and guys with the previous amatwasa, you know, and it was just crazy. I was thinking to myself, what is really happening, Lana? You know, what is happening? And I started not feeling safe anymore, because you would call me sometimes in would be mixed with something, you know. So nganga feel safe ukuthi ngelinye ilanga something is gonna happen to me and I would not know, because nama-proposition chile and amasekhaya ngabatshela ngathi ningasezi nizongibona, because I don't trust what's happening here. I feel ukuthi lo muntu lona uzonipha imithi and nizoza la seningitshela ukuthi I must marry him or ngingasahambi nokuhamba la, but I really need to leave here. But the stay was no longer comfortable, kwakungasekho right, to a point whereby when my aunt was like, no, she's gonna come asithathe for a weekend, you know, abone ukuthi siqeqeshekile kangakanani. The first time we got there, basiphukudla. Remember me and umashoba, because of that mentality sesijwayele ukuphila njengezinja, of eating like dogs. My aunt was like, no, what are you doing? Why nidla kanje? I was like, no, this is how we're supposed to eat. She's like, no, stop it. Sihlala kahle, eat properly like normal people. And that's when the red flag clicked in my mind. I was like, hey, you're going through abuse here. You're going through physical abuse. What just happened? It sank in that I spent so many months and weeks lapayana, and besengijwayele ukuphila njengesilwane, ukuphila njengepara, you know. And it rang to me ukuthi this is not okay. And I could just tell amadlozi wami how fed up they were, because after that weekend when my aunt took me back, I cried when I got there. I actually don't want to be here. From the first place, my aunt was trusted with my spiritual care, but that is mistreating me. And the obonumfazi like him, because he would come report to me and tell me that don't take whatever is happening personal. You understand that this is just a friend or something like that. And Ganka understand what is happening. Until one day, Igozilami lost it, and umsezana mangangichazela ukuthi idlozi ulamtshela ukuthi alisafuni. It is now or never. Mabangibusele la bangithathe khona, because they're actually not doing anything for me, you know. Yes, ukufunda gafunda XYZ loku saqeqesha. I might have not shared in detail in the video, but I was just bringing up important, you know, things or things that are coming to my mind, or amazubela highlights rather. And it was lost it, lamnyela and etc. because izinto besezia out of hand, you know. They were getting out of hand, so a point whereby I was feeling like something is gonna happen to me, and I don't know who things bani, because it was no longer safe for me to be there, you know. I felt like that it was no longer safe for me to be there. So my aunt rushed. I remember she was in KZN. My mom, Fagi Preza, she came, was a slander, and she rescued me. She rescued us. And I must say, Kanja, Segaliwa, Lapayana, to only find out Dugusim Umsezana. She was also saying that there were being moves made on her, but by Ubabawa Lapo, you know, I would not necessarily know, because she didn't go into details. But Baba Lapo so furious. Ati mang hambang hambe mina, but Umsezana simshie Lapo. I packed everything of mine, and my Gobela was furious at me that day. Because any leading up to that, ngabona amabhodlela, you know these bottles that are there like lawa bathi bafaka imithi go, we get them at Faraday. Ngawathola kuthiwa ngelanga ngikhipha imfihlo because he was now becoming rude to me, you understand. Ilanga lakhona I was struggling and he was saying to me, khipha imfihlo wena sifebe yabo wena ini, and ngabona lawo mabhodlela lawo, you know, emuva just alahliwe nje. Ngabuza umsezana ngathi lento nafika niyenze ekhaya that day was it true na? And she said to me, hey mina mntana Thonga, ngatshelwa ukuthi fuze senze kahle, angisho yazi ukuthi izinto ezenzakala la we're not supposed to speak about it. And I think that is when I defied everything that was in relation to ugobelo wami. He scammed my family, he lied. Kwathiwa kunezinto ezibethelwa ekhaya, knowing very well ukuthi bathengela amabhodlela lawayana bawafaka izinto abazifakayo zona while thina silahla isite singaboni amabhodlela ayawiswa. That's what 80% is happening out here. Akekho umuntu ozofika kuwe athi uthola ibhodlela or uthole ini. Into khona if ayirusanga, into khona if or no pop ubaby girl, I'm keeping ubaby girl, you must check iminyaka ubaby girl wenze nini. Why ubaby girl? You understand that? There are people genuinely gifted in light yokuthi bayenze lokho abakwenzayo, but in 80% of the time amanga into eyenzakalayo leyo ebungo. That's why ubungoma bungasekho, that's why buqhaphake kanje. You know, for people that still stand for the truth, you can count with the back of your hand. But into ngabona mina, that is when I told umashobo ukuthi kahle kahle shuthi amanga akhona lana, you know, because why would he do this to us? And I trusted him, and he emphasized that it was a money type of situation, you know. So ugobelo came and rescued me, and that day gwaliwa, guys, it was war. My Gobelo was furious, his dad was furious, the mom was furious. The mom was like, I knew this was gonna happen, and she just left the house. In Riaba to let kwasala kuvuleke indumba uemthekregeni sipakisha thina izinto zethu for only me to move to Ipehlo 2. So the abuse, the ill treatment, you know, it is what made me leave Ipehlo 1, because of lezo zinto zazenzakala. And you think ukuthi things would have ended there, but so to not spoil this any further, let's see each other on part 9. I thought, you know, ngiyapumula ngiyahamba, but my journey was nearer to the end. Into ngangizitshele was that I'm not going to go home ngifake idumane. I'm not going to disappoint myself like that. Sengihamba indlela ende. I left my life, I left school, and angizoqhubeka with or without that. You might be watching this video and thinking, oh yes, I went through the most. Yes, I did. But I went through the most so that I could come today and show you that izinto ezikanje zikhona. Yes, anginaqala nedlozi logobela wami, anginaqala nedlozi. Iqala lisemntwini, because umuntu uye osuke wonayo, idlozi alikwenzi kabi. Umuntu osuke sile usuke kuuye lona osuke efuna ngaphezulu, because as izangoma we put each other under pressure. Nigcine senilawyer for amatwasa, for custom, for clients, for reputation, you know. And that is what I felt. My Gobela fell in the trap of greed, hunger for power, hunger for being worshipped, because this mentality of people worshiping other people is bullshit to me, you know. But it is what it is. So I will see you on part 8, and thank you so much for coming through to view this video. Don't forget to like, leave your comments down below. And I am Pobadimo, the advocate of idlozi, ugogo unkomiyahlaba, and from me to you, I will definitely see you later.